Hi, guys. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving. This is Fred and Sheila.
Cheer up. Cheer up. Where's that smile?
There you go.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a interesting video for those of you that's been keeping up with the Mickey Stines case. This is, first of all, let's throw this out there. Let us make one thing clear. Want it to be known that our videos are for entertainment purposes only.
Right.
Some of the information may not be factual. We hope it is, and we try to present it as such. That doesn't make it the truth sometimes. We do make mistakes. Some of the information may be speculative, theorizing, or even our humble opinions.
Exactly.
Now, you know Fred's not short on giving his opinion, so we are making no allegations, accusations toward anyone. Our videos consist of opinions, supposed, so-called, non-substantiated claims, professed, unproven, assumed, purported, and even half-truths. Again, we hope not, but for a disclaimer, that's what we're throwing out there. And you'll see this again at the back of all of our videos. Sheila always posts it.
We do.
And that's just to let people know that we do make mistakes. Some of the things that we do say is opinions and alleged. And rather than stopping in the middle of every video or every sentence or every time we say something and having to say that, we thought we'd throw it out there in front.
Exactly.
With that said, if you see a mistake or something we say wrong or present wrong or that's not correct or true, please put it in the comments. We'll make sure that we correct it the next time, and
definitely
it'll be on that page to make sure it's corrected there for those that read the comments. It's going to be about the Mickey Stines case, the sheriff that shot the judge. This is going to be a more in-depth look. Please stay tuned till the main end, because at the main end, we're going to talk about a topic, a subject that very few, if anybody, has talked about. No doubt going to be controversial, but it's definitely drew our attention.
Wow, yeah.
And
it's
that's
interesting, to say the least.
To how some of this all started, and the sentences and different things that happened that we're still flabbergasted about. Sheila's going to play the first video there as a review for those of you. They may be one in a million out there that hasn't seen it, but here's what we're talking about, and then we're going to pick up with the attorney.
First of all, I'm going to play the warning, guys. And here you can see there's where they're first shot.
We want to go over this step by step at the end and draw your attention to different. Look here, turns back.
This is sad.
Ready to leave, and then turns back and bang bangs 2 or 3 more times. How much plainer could it be? How much clearer could it be?
He was intent, as far determined, or whatever you want to say. He was very upset.
Imagine that judge just picking that desk up underneath there and throwing it at the sheriff there and fighting back. Guys, sometimes you can't run. Sometimes you have to fight. And hindsight's 20/20, but that would have been a good spot for him to have come back. Go ahead with the next one, babe. We'll get straight into the.
Okay.
This is his attorney's. There was a sudden inflammation of of emotion that transpired in the moments just before the tape came on in the clip that we saw. And so this tape was...
You can stop it.
Okay.
Guys,
Gotcha.
We're just going to go frame by frame and try to, and let you get your take on this too in the comments.
Okay.
He says that this is Mickey's dynamic duel. these are attorneys out of Somerset, and very knowledgeable, very competent, that we can tell. We're not geniuses, but
Right.
these seem to be pretty competent attorneys, and he seems to be well represented with these two. Now, his lawyer here, Jeremy, says that this video that we just watched, that's the video that they showed at the preliminary hearing. And he says that the frames before that is going to really show what happened that caused this, caused the sheriff to do what he done. It's going to be interesting to see if that's true, because
If it comes
I don't
out.
know, huh?
If it comes out in court.
Yeah, I don't know what could be at the front of this video, short of the judge pulling the gun, then hiding it back before we saw this clip, because no matter what happened beforehand, no matter what words exchanged, no matter what, this judge is standing there with a cigarette in his hand and his hands in the air when he commits to firing. Go ahead.
Okay.
Edited to cut out anything that happened just prior, and we think the moments just prior will tell the whole story. I don't know at this point what ultimately was.
And we don't neither. You can stop it. He's saying again, moments before, just prior, will explain what happened.
I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see.
Sheila and I have, like the rest of you out there, probably inquisitive, and we just don't see it. You know, we're going to get to the speculation part. We're going to get to the daughter. We're going to get to the wife. We're going to get to all these things that people's been talking about for the last couple of months.
Exactly.
As we go through these interviews. Go ahead.
Okay, that was all of that video is what it was. Okay. I was going to say that didn't make sense. Here's the next one.
Period of time. And you take that in companion with the statement that our client felt like his wife and his daughter were in danger, then we think certainly there is something there that is going to support our contention that Mr. Stines felt as though he had to act.
Now, that's a very good comment. First of all, let's remember, these two are defense attorneys.
Exactly.
These two, within reason and within being legal, they're going to say anything they can for their client. And
to do what's best for their client.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would be expected of them.
Well, sure.
To give him full representation. But what could he be talking about that says that something had caused their client to act like this?
Yeah.
What in the world could have caused him? This is the sheriff of the county.
Right.
He's got his weapon. He's got handcuffs. He's got the right to arrest and seize somebody physically if he needs to, and there's a crime that's being committed, going to be committed, has been committed.
Well, you noticed that when he was standing there, Mr. Stines, he took a step back.
Yeah.
And then he pulled.
Yeah.
So I wonder.
The thing is, once again, what would give, in your mind, as a juror, as a, now, see, I'm tainted. I've got a preconceived opinion, and I could be wrong. I've said before, I may eat crow when this is all over with. These two attorneys may bring up something that
we don't know
is
about.
so far-fetched, so far out there that we didn't know about. They're the ones talking to the client.
Well, they've done seen the video, the full video from the sheriff's.
And they've heard from their client.
I mean, from the judge's office.
They've heard what Mr. Stines has told them. And it don't matter what I think, what my opinion is. Sheila's more open-minded than I am, because I see something in when I'm looking at the self-defense aspect of it. There's no resistance at all. Just to pull out and de-life somebody, that's, it don't get no plainer than that. what? It's going to be so, if it convinces me that right there had to be done, then that's incredible, because I can't see just pulling out and de-lifing somebody.
Yeah.
When he's got his hands up, arrest them, take them to jail. If you feel your family's going to be kidnapped, you feel your family's in harm,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about the daughter. The daughter always comes up in every video from the beginning. The daughter's number in the phone, the daughter, and we're going to talk about that, and it may clear some of this stuff up again as we go along. What are you thinking over there? I know you're.
I don't know. It's a sad situation for everybody.
We know it's sad.
But what would have happened to make him do that? To make him that upset?
That's the $20 question, ain't it?
That he would take another person's life.
Yeah.
It had to be something so horrific.
Well, again, no doubt they're going to plead mental disturbance,
distress, or whatever, it's so emotional distress or something.
Yeah, and try to throw that in there, that he was so overwhelmed, or so, was he?
I don't know. That's
a good defense, especially for two good, competent attorneys. That would be something to throw out there, but that it had to de-life him right then.
Exactly, because they were out in public together before that.
Right then, you ain't got no choice.
And then came there.
And then not only that, Sheila, but look, after he goes and in the beginning, bang, follows him around to where he's laying on the floor,
he
moves the chair out of the way, there, like you said. Bang bangs some more. Gets ready to leave the office and reaches up underneath the desk.
That's someone who's upset.
Huh?
Someone who's very, very upset.
And then leaves. That is... you're worried about somebody being kidnapped or harmed? I
don't know.
It's incredible. This is no wonder this case is...
This is a doozy. This is a doozy.
So much interest for people because it's an interesting case. It's an interesting... I just don't see that. And I guess I'm hoping to see it. I guess I'm hoping that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something there so horrific that I'm going to be thinking, wow, Fred, you counted your chickens before they were hatched, because...
it has to be something, because why would you take another life?
Can't see him being justified, though. See, Sheila wants to look at it Sheila wants to look at it like a juror and say, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You can give him the benefit of the doubt, but no matter what he comes back and says that he done that for, short of there being more, in that preliminary hearing,
it's all...
The detective, Stamper, said they're trying to kidnap my family.
So who are they?
Are they more? And if there are more, why haven't they been arrested yet? If the sheriff had enough evidence that he could off the judge, and he knows there's more of them, surely he's told the investigators who they are.
Are they trying to kidnap the wife and daughter to keep him from talking? Or what? Maybe he knows something.
There's been some more developments come out here in the last few days on something, and I've said it. I've thought about it from the beginning.
Yep.
Just never said it out loud, and or at least I don't think I have. But I've never actually.
You're pretty smart on things,
and I could be wrong. I've never thought it was the daughter.
Okay, yeah.
I think it maybe concerns the wife. That's my opinion. That's my thinking.
That's right, yeah.
Could be totally wrong. Jealousy is a terrible, terrible thing.
But then again, why would he say they?
Why haven't they been arrested?
Why hasn't it come to light? Yeah.
Police charged some more people.
Exactly.
With the judge.
Exactly.
If he offed the judge, he has to think that the judge had something to do with going to kidnap his family.
The ringleader, yeah.
So if that's so, then where's the rest of them at?
Exactly.
Why aren't they locked up? Play that last one, babe.
We'll see. Hopefully it'll come out.
A couple more videos, and then we want to get into the gist of it.
think this one here is
You
next.
could become an issue in this case. This happened in a small town.
Where they're gonna
Attorney
try
Jeremy
that.
Bartley also told me he thinks the federal civil lawsuit in which Stines was deposed before the shooting could provide some context about what happened, but it's more than could be explained in a soundbite. Bartley also said they've seen no evidence that there was an inappropriate relationship between Judge Mullins and Stines' daughter.
Stop.
It's the end of it.
Stop.
Yep.
There's been no evidence. And I've heard the attorneys. I've heard both of them now on different
He said that, yeah.
soundtracks or different interviews they've done.
Yep, said
As
at
of right
that
now, there's
point.
no- huh?
Mhm. At this time, there was no evidence showing anything between the judge and the daughter.
At this time, that's go ahead there.
Yeah, at this time, it says that there's no evidence between the judge and the daughter with stuff that's going on like that. So
Sorry about that.
that's all right. So,
And if that's so, if the attorneys, the defense attorneys are saying that themselves,
right.
at this time there's no evidence to implicate that there was anything going on between the judge and the sheriff's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sad thing is, and this is my opinion, the sad thing is that a lot of people, that judge went to his grave a couple of days later, or wherever he's at. Some says cremated, some says cemetery, but with people thinking that there was something going on between him and the sheriff's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And if that really happened, and that was a rumor that could have been cleared up way back,
Yeah.
that's a disgrace. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was many in the beginning, especially when it first come out. And you're thinking from Kentucky especially, hey, man fools with your child, man fools with your daughter, something's happened inappropriate. Even though she's 17 years old now, even a younger child would even be more devastating, but 17 years old, but it's his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they're stating there that as of right now, there's nothing to implicate that there was anything going on between the judge and the sheriff's daughter.
Yep.
And if that's so, that's sad. But that wasn't cleared up at the preliminary hearing.
Earlier.
That the state trooper, the detective Stamper on the stand, could not have cleared that up. They asked him, was the number in the phone? Was the and I know it takes very little. It just takes reasonable suspicion, probable cause, just for the judge to send it on to the grand jury. But did it do the judge? If that's true, and there was nothing between that judge and that daughter,
Yeah, that's sad.
should the public been left to believe or think that, and all the rumors that's followed it
Right.
all this time?
That's not cool. If
If it was known.
right, if it was known, they should have put a stop to that.
And
At-
you know who
right at the
knew it
get-go.
was the sheriff himself
Right.
and the trooper, the detective
Mm-hmm.
that's doing the lead detective that's doing the investigating. Because they asked, was the sheriff's daughter's number in the judge's phone? He said yes.
Mm.
And that just led into more curiosity for
That
people.
implied.
Thinking, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Then we come to find out that, the number may have been, and this was through the Mountain Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you want to follow this case, Mountain Eagle is the newspaper there in
Lecture.
Letcher County,
Mm-hmm.
Whitesburg.
Yeah.
And if you want to follow it, you can, I'm leaving you a way open there to help me out some. So I don't talk so much.
No, you're good. It's all good. No worries. I think we have one more video.
The newspaper in Whitesburg, the Mountain Eagle, you can go to their website and
Or-
you can keep up there.
Or
right there in
Facebook
Letcher
page.
County
They have
and
a Facebook page.
Whitesburg have a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Keep up with the news right there on their paper.
They can tell you exactly what's going on. Yeah.
They're right
they'll
there
report
with
it.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones that come out later on and said that they had talked to a couple of state troopers, state detectives, whatever they were, and that they had told them that the number was not actually saved
Exactly.
in the judge's phone, that the number
Was dialed.
was
that
there.
Mr. Stines dialed it himself.
The number was there because the sheriff had actually dialed the daughter's number from the sheriff's phone.
And at the time of the incident going on, you could see that the judge's phone, someone was calling in.
Yeah,
His phone was lit up on the
I'm
desk,
sure they
on
know
the
who
table.
that was. Was that somebody calling back?
Right,
Or
exactly.
was that another call?
Right.
Opinionated, but was the sheriff trying to get a hold of the daughter to see if
Mm-hmm.
she knew where the mother was?
Right.
You know, there's speculation, there's rumors, there's that the sheriff and the wife had an issue.
A spat, yeah.
Could be pure rumor, just like the rumor concerning the sheriff's daughter.
Exactly. Exactly.
But that is a rumor. It's out there. It's not something we just found out about or made up. It's been out there for a long time, and to me, from the beginning, it's made more sense.
That it would go in that direction.
Yeah, go ahead and play the next one if you want, and then
Okay.
because we still got to get the big story out.
Right. This is the last one here. It'll start playing here in a
I've said
second.
this prior and I'd say it again. We ask that everyone withhold judgment. Let the story be told in the courtroom. All right, what's online, all these social media posts, everybody's opinion about this case,
Sad.
it's a grain of salt. This is a complex case,
There's a daughter, wife, and son.
but we believe that there will be a very complete defense for Mr. Stines, and we look forward to putting that on for him.
Yeah, having been on the case for a couple months now, do you know whether this is connected to the federal lawsuit he was a part of?
To the lawsuit.
Is there any connection between? Can you say
I think that the timing of what occurred is certainly something that is going to be a crucial point in this case. The timing of the deposition, amongst other things and other background information that will complete that story, but I do, yes, to answer your question, I do believe that is a piece. This is a large story. That's a story that in some ways is difficult to tell. We look forward to sharing a more complete version of that as we go through this judicial process.
You are seeking the death penalty, is that correct?
That has not been determined at this point in time. It was too early at this point in time to make such a determination.
When do you think you'll make that determination?
After all the evidence has been collected, thoroughly gone through, and a conversation with the family has been had, and then get their thoughts on that process.
Are you disappointed your client didn't get a bond?
So I think, if I understand the judge's stance today, is that she's here for limited purposes of arraignment, so we...
Guys, we're going to review here 1 minute because we're
Okay.
coming up on the prosecutor, the Commonwealth attorney there, talking about the death penalty. We want to discuss that. We want to discuss Ben Fields. We want to discuss the deputy sheriff that in that litigation, that civil case that they're talking about, and Ben Fields' criminal case. But
Okay, do you want me to leave?
Huh?
Do you want me to leave this up here or take it down?
Is there anything else there that's...
It's got that much left to go.
go ahead.
but-
Go ahead and let's finish it so we can...
the plea of
Sorry.
not
That's
guilty,
okay.
and we expect we'll file a motion
talking
for
about the bond.
adversarial bond. And in a case like this, that's unlikely, practically speaking. It's unlikely, but we'll certainly, we believe that Mr. Stines is someone who, given his past history, that he's someone that presents a very compelling case for bond release. While we still have this little thing called presumption of innocence, and it doesn't matter what the evidence that you've already seen is out there, he still carries that presumption. Well, I think some of the early conversations, first is going to be the adversarial bond hearing, but at some point we're going to have to address the elephant in the room concerning venue.
Yeah, that's good.
And
He's a good attorney. He's a good attorney, but presumption of innocence, when no matter what the video shows, I think that video's overwhelming, that it shows somebody de-lifing another person, an
Yeah,
unarmed person.
exactly.
murder someone who illegally and intentionally kills another? Well, he definitely intentionally pulled his weapon and shot. Cold-blooded, intentional.
Wow.
Maybe there's an excuse that will come later on that will, some people will say will vindicate them. I don't see it. I don't see vindicating a person, de-lifing an unarmed person. Attorney says the whole judgment. He's talking about social media, talking about let the story be told in the courtroom, and that's true. He knows the story. He's got the
Well, he knows it because Mr. Stines has told him.
exactly. Yeah, so he knows. Now the thing is, defense attorneys are notorious for making it sound like they've got more than they've got, or they know more than they know, or they got a better defense than they have, and because they want something to deal with in plea bargaining.
Okay.
If they have a better case, it's like trading cars, or if you're a barter, you barter a lot, you trade a lot, and you know how to go back and forth and wheel and deal, and that's what
It's like a game of chess, kind of. A game of chess, kind of.
And you're trying to get as little time for your client as you can, or none. He said at one time he thinks his client will be vindicated.
Ooh.
Well, that's,
I don't know. This
if that is, he'll go down in history, him and his wife, as in my book,
best
as the greatest attorneys I've ever seen. When you can take a
complex
person like that, a video, de-lifing an unarmed person, and they're vindicated, they're not guilty, and they're set free.
That would be something.
Sheriff and defense, we call them the dynamic duo. We think they're good attorneys.
Sure,
He's
absolutely.
represented well, but sometimes the evidence is overwhelming. It don't matter what kind of defense attorneys you've got. They certainly have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, this case is something else. You've got all this speculation, people thinking it's going to be this, that, or the other, and it could be totally something different.
Yeah, look how they pointed the finger in the beginning at the daughter.
At the
and now
daughter.
They're saying, well, or not they. I'm not saying the attorneys. I'm saying how the media, how
Rumors.
the rumors, especially because Sheila and I went to Whitesburg and we talked to people, and some people, several people talked to us. They just wouldn't talk on camera. Or
Exactly.
didn't want to be.
It's interesting, though. I tell you, this is going to be surprising.
Unarmed.
And the death penalty?
Good question.
They're not.
Common attorney said. They asked him if it's a death penalty. Well, it's a capital murder case.
Right.
He's de-lifed somebody intentionally, and
Usually, don't if you take a life, don't they usually do that to the person? They put them on death row.
well, no, not anymore. You jaywalk and they'll do it, but you can de-life somebody anymore and get very little time. And that's the way it should be. It should be a life for a life. If you take somebody's life, if it's not the death penalty, at least it should be life in prison without parole. It should be a life for a life. Where did we ever equal? You de-life somebody and you can get 10 years, 5 years, 15, 25 years, and who was it? That Susan Smith case.
Yeah.
She took 2 lives and she served 30 years, and now she's up for parole. She could go free in 2 more years. Every 2 years she goes for parole. Who did that? She took 2 lives. She should give her life.
Yeah, she said she was going to, but then she jumped out of the car.
Or her freedom for the rest of her life. If
And
you take
babies couldn't
somebody's
help.
life, especially intentionally,
I don't know. Sad.
I'm an
Sad.
attorney. This is he says he hasn't had time to think about it, or he wants to look at all the evidence and smart. He sounds like and from what we've seen in court, very competent attorney also.
Exactly.
It's definitely a game of chess, like Sheila says. You've got some great minds there. No doubt all of them knows the law. And, but Shouldn't it be a death penalty case? That should be without question. You've got a video of a man de-lifing somebody in his office, a judge,
Unarmed.
unarmed.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be a no-brainer? Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a capital offense. Yeah, it's a death penalty. Somebody said, well, he had 20 years as a law enforcement. Does that matter? What matters is what happened right now. He's in court incarcerated for de-lifing a judge in his office who was unarmed. That's a death penalty, without a doubt. You know, let the jury decide, but at least put it out there, death penalty.
Sounds like
And I don't know, or we don't know Judge Stines, we don't know, or Judge Mullins. Or Sheriff Stines,
Right.
or Mr. Stines now. He's no longer a sheriff, of course.
Yeah. Sounds like he was backed into a corner and he felt like he had no way out, but still.
Who, the sheriff?
Yeah. There's got to be some reason why he would go to that extreme. There's got to be. I don't know. I don't understand
Wants
it.
to try it in Letcher County. No change of venue for him. And
Right.
rightly so. Friends and foe on both sides. Both of them from there.
Yep.
Of course, we discussed this in the last video, but it only takes one to hang the jury, not guilty or guilty. It only takes one person.
Exactly. And that's probably what he's hoping for. To be honest, they are.
You know, there's no better proof. There's no better proof than that security camera. Bless you, babe.
Yeah. I mean, pictures
see
don't lie.
something, if you're an eyewitness to something, you see something, and then somebody tells you 2 or 3 times, well, I've seen them run across the road. I've seen them do this. And you're thinking,
Did I miss that?
did I miss that?
That would be me.
Yeah. You don't have that problem with the videotape. If you start doubting yourself on what you saw, you just hit rewind. Go back and watch it again. There's no misunderstanding that videotape.
No.
Is there anything in your mind, guys, that could change your mind, that could justify a man doing that to this, and bang, bang, bang? What could justify that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
And now there's the only thing that could have even come close to justifying it, and I don't think it would have in him been a lawman, but would have been the daughter. Now they're saying she's pretty much out of the equation.
I know, but they did take her phone too, but they haven't brought any of that out. And other apps or something that he was talking about, they were talking about in court.
Well,
He'd mentioned apps, some kind of apps. So,
you know, I think it's character assassination. Besides being intentionally de-lifed in his office, I think from the preliminary hearing and the rumors going around and different things, that if that's not so about the daughter, that was
sad.
Character assassination of that judge. I don't know. I mean, unless he's done something worse than that. And but for people to think that, Sheila and I talked to people in Whitesburg.
We did.
That was the rumor. That, well, there was other rumors too.
Other things, but mostly
We could tell they were
that.
according to who you was talking to. And if allowed people to think daughter was involved,
And she wasn't.
travesty of justice, travesty of
Well, it's two people that they
victimized. He was victimized twice. If this turns out that he was de-lifed for something else, something other, and everybody had that going around.
Well, the daughter, if she's they victimized her in that aspect of it.
Sheila, I hadn't even thought about that part. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Let people think that she had been. Yeah, no doubt that was embarrassing to her.
Well, sure.
I hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah, no.
Case B detective could have put a stop to it at the preliminary hearing. You know, at the preliminary hearing, Detective Stamper was like pulling teeth. It was like it was my secret and I'm not telling it, but you know, he could have cleared a lot of things up. It's not about what side you're on or who you know, who you didn't know. At this point, it turned into a homicide. Somebody's been
It should have been about the truth
Been
of what
DUI.
really
Just
happened.
bring it out and tell it. If you knew something there that, and you knew by saying, yeah, the daughter's phone was in the judge's phone,
His number.
daughter's number,
Mm-hmm.
and you knew you could have cleared that up by saying, but it was only there because the sheriff put it there. It was this or that. Or it would have been nice if they knew it at the time.
Exactly.
What about Ben Fields? You know, this lawyer brings
He's
up.
interesting.
Huh?
He is interesting.
Yeah.
This on him is crazy.
Yeah. The lawyer, in the beginning, they brought up, and everybody was saying that it had nothing to do with the civil suit, against the sheriff's department.
Right. It was him and the sheriff. And
Ben Fields, a deputy sheriff under Mickey Stines, and he had been been charged with the big R.
yeah.
Charged with SA.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube don't like those names, so we'll just put the initials, but pled guilty to him.
Right.
Got 6 months in the county jail where his wife works. She works at the jail.
That's not cool.
6 months in the county jail, and you're charged with 2 women. One of them is now deceased, and we still haven't found out what happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
From what we understand, the family's still going along with the civil part of it, but 6 months and so many years on probation, but 6 months in jail is what he's in a county jail. Not even a. Wow. What's the deal there?
That doesn't make sense.
How do you do that and get 6 months?
That doesn't make sense. That's not fair. That's not.
Well, it's making sense now that the lawyer has said it may have something to do with the civil case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every sheriff, every police chief, everybody's got employees or officers under them. If they're sued, you more than likely going to sue the supervisor, the sheriff, the person in charge of that person. And you get sued for inadequately training them, inadequately supervising them, because they're under your watch. Now, you usually get sued in your official capacity as the sheriff, as the police chief, as the whatever it is.
Because he's the boss. He was his boss.
And that's how they go after the insurance companies.
Okay.
Police officers are bonded, insured, and you're suing them. But
he's being sued personally too, though. Ben is, right?
He sued Ben Fields individually,
right,
in his official capacity as a deputy sheriff, and individually,
right.
Now, from what I understand, the sheriff is just sued because of his
authority over him.
Exactly.
For a better lack of better term.
Did this man only get 6 months in the county jail?
That's insane.
Pled guilty to R. And
2 women.
And SA. So at least 2 women. At least 2.
So it's 3 months for each offense.
And again, we could be wrong on this. We got a lot of our information from the reading the Mountain Eagle. You can go there and pull up the file. It gives you a whole lot more than we're going to give you here, but it's the way we understood it.
It's crazy.
Guys, we don't want to drag it out.
Yeah.
We're as stunned as most everybody else is on this case, and every time we watch a hearing on it or we see something, it makes us even more. And you know, the lawyer said social media and people need to stay out of it, or he didn't say it that rudely, but you know, let it run its course, and that's good. But there's always going to be inquisitive people. There's always going to be. You can't go to Whitesburg. That's the courthouse there in the background over Sheila's head there, and if you go to Whitesburg and you talk to these people and they talk to you, they open up to you, man, there's a lot of things that could be happening there. And maybe that's what the lawyer is eventually going to tell. For a long time, I've said that I don't think it'd ever go to trial. I think it'll be played out. sometimes defense attorneys talk a good talk in order to get the best deal they can for their client. And again, sometimes when you put that capital murder, that death penalty on the table, it has a way of, when you're looking at death,
they'll negotiate.
Yeah, and I don't think it'd ever go to trial. I've said it. I don't think, no matter
It
what
still
a good
needs to
talk
come
he
out.
talks, huh?
It still needs to come out what happened, why
That don't mean it will, though.
that happened.
I hope it does. We're hoping we're wrong. That it actually goes to trial.
Yeah.
So we can find out.
I don't know. This is a wild and crazy trial. That's all I can say. Or my favorite word, you guys. Oh, my Lanta. This is something else. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Oh, my Lanta. Guys, comment in the section. I know some of you have commented and said, Fred, police officer, you should know the way on the jury. Well, I'm not a police officer anymore. This is Fred's opinion. Fred's a YouTuber now.
He's going by the evidence that he's seen.
I'm going by a video. And that video does not lie, no matter. You can say, short of that man having a remote in his hand and having a vest on and says, I'm going to do this or that. Short of that, there's nothing that tells me, or that cigarette he's holding has got some kind of an igniter on it that he's getting ready to do something. Short of that, that man was de-lifed, cold blood.
Sad, 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 sad.
No matter what was going on, or he thought was going to go on.
Still doesn't justify. I agree. Taking someone else's
You're never
life.
going to convince me that de-lifing that fella and him unarmed and crawling around and probably begging, we can't, there's no sound, but guys, just touch of information. You get in a spot like that, look at these videos, and had that judge went up underneath that desk and just picked that desk up as big as he was, just picked the desk up and just threw it at the sheriff and then turned it into a wrestling match. They said a bailiff was right out in the courtroom. Wow. Maybe he could have run in there and helped, even if he couldn't whip the sheriff. Neither one of them looks like they was in too good a shape, but physical shape. But even if he couldn't whip the sheriff, he might have held him off long enough for the bailiff to get in there to help subdue him, and he might have been alive. You've got to flight or fight, and you don't want to flight unless you got a certain way,
out.
You know you're getting out. If they're that close to you, point blank, you ain't got no choice. No. You better go at it. Like we've said before, like you're the third monkey getting on Noah's Ark.
Yep.
And brother, it's starting to rain.
Yep.
A judge could have pulled that desk up, threw it.
And maybe got to the door.
Cigarette. He could have, maybe he actually, just like us, when you first see that video, you don't comprehend.
No, because I don't think the judge did, because
that he thought he'd actually pulled
exactly. I think he knew he was upset, but I don't think he was actually going to go through with it.
Sheila brought up a good point the other day. Look, he doesn't bang bang until the judge turns his head. And we were talking. I wonder if he, it's pretty hard to shoot your friend or bang bang
when they're looking at you.
And him looking at you. But when he turned his head away, that's when so
sad.
You're up.
All right, guys.
What about your comments?
Yeah, I was going to say, comment below on what you think.
You're not going to hurt our feelings.
No. Everybody has a right to view their opinion.
And I'm not, guys, listen, I don't know this sheriff guy. I don't care if it was a sheriff. I don't care if it's.
You're just going by what you've seen on the video.
I'm looking at that video and I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing. If you think I'm wrong in my opinion, that was just downright, then speak it. Please explain why you think that.
Do it in a nice way, though.
Not rumors. We've all heard, and even in the last video, and we knew this video was coming up. We knew that we'd done seen, just the holidays has got us behind. We're behind on posting because now I've seen other videos, but we saw this the other day and knew we was making a video on it because when they took the sheriff's daughter out of the equation, or supposedly have taken her
Right.
out of the equation, that changes things tremendously.
Yeah.
But the last video, everybody's saying, well, you got the sheriff's daughter. He got the sheriff. Did he? It's not what the attorney says in that interview.
Yeah.
They say at this point, they have no evidence that.
I don't know. Anyway, God bless you each and every one. Thank you for tuning in. If you have a comment,
Great.
please leave
God
it
is
below.
great.
Yes, God is
We're
great.
doing
Pray
good, guys.
for everybody.
You know, again, we're trying to watch,
Yeah.
but this is everyday life. I
Yeah.
don't want to do nothing to mess up our walk, but this is just discussing.
I
Current
agree.
happenings.
I agree. All right. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you on the next one. Okay.
Thanks, guys.